one of the problems with mainstream religion and why so many people walk away from it is they see, the optic is that we don't believe in it. We don't really believe in it. And let's face it, its entertainment value is pretty low. So if you aren't there because you love God, you're not going to be there for long. It's going to lose its luster.
I'm Bishop Meikle, and I am the Bishop of Florida of the See of Carrigaline.
So the primary job of a bishop in Catholic understanding is the successor of the apostles. So our primary job is to give God the worship that he's due, and secondly, to spread our Lord's light to a world that no longer believes. Help oversee a number of different churches in different states. And then depending on the day of the week, I have different responsibilities, either to offer Holy Mass at a church, either locally, or in one case I travel about an hour and a half to get to another chapel that I service. Also, we have a number of seminarians in various stages of development. So I take an active role in dealing with each of them and their particular journey towards the holy priesthood. When the news of COVID first came out, we didn't know what was going on. So of course you want to take the maximum precaution possible. So there was some guidelines out there, like try to space people, and we did. For that early part, everybody pretty well wore a mask, except when at communion they would remove the mask. For myself, I didn't wear the mask up in the sanctuary. I was spread out quite a distance from the people themselves. So I didn't wear a mask until Holy Communion, and then I would ablute my hands. There's a number of hand washings during the Mass itself, but prior to distributing Holy Communion, I added a wash with an alcohol mix. I put on a mask, distributed Holy Communion. And of course, the neat thing about the way we do Holy Communion is that the only hands that touch the Holy Communion was me. There wasn't any Eucharistic minister putting them into your hands and having multiple points of contact. So it was me with alcohol-washed fingers putting it directly into the communicant's mouth. We saw this in a letter with the British bishops that described all the sacrifices of the saints, like St. Catherine, St. Damien, that were going out there and helping plague victims and tending to the wounded and the infectious. And they did so without concern about their physical life. And so the British bishops wrote this nice letter and then said afterwards, but we don't want our priests to do this because we have a low amount of priests. And in Catholic theology, we believe that a soul or a person preparing for death should have the attendance of a priest, because no one knows for certain if they're in the state of grace, and these sacraments prepare you for the next chapter of your life, which is your eternity. It's kind of a big deal to a Catholic. So when you get told that you don't need those sacraments because there's a plague, oh, God understands, don't worry about it. Well, then logically, the people are going to think, well, if I didn't have to go to church during lockdown, if I didn't need the sacraments during lockdown, is it really important? And the people answered no. And I mean, the liquor store was open. No, worse, the liquor store was deemed an essential service. And I believe that the psychological and socio-political health of our population was really damaged. Spiritual health of our population was damaged because the church decided that the liquor store was essential, but they were not. What does that say? I mean, the whole secular world around us tells us that religion is useless, that it's just some sort of psychological crutch that's your option, and then the church agrees with them. What is that? I mean, what do you believe in anymore? Would you give your life for that? Would the saints, would the early apostles, 11 out of 12 were martyred for this faith of ours? Many churches have found attendance has dropped significantly, 30 to even 50% in some cases since COVID numbers. And a lot of it has to do is people either in the back of the head or in the front of the head are saying, you guys don't believe in any of this at all. And I think that the COVID lockdowns are going to impact people for decades, especially the children. No one thought of them. They were too busy peddling their masks and their lockdowns. It's hard living in this age, but also a blessing. We each have different histories, situations, spiritual paths, and church communities. May God bless and protect each of you. May we all see the world and the church and ourselves as our Lord Jesus wishes us to see.